You know, since the beginning, even before I had my Steam Deck, I've seen a lot of people talking and complaining about Windows running on the Steam Deck, Windows 10, Windows 11, saying how it was awful, it ate your battery life, there's no drivers, there's no this, there's no that, it takes away from the experience. Right. A lot of Q1 videos were like that. And I also saw a lot of secret little hidden videos where people were using it and it was working fine and it gave people no issues. So come Q2, I turn on my Steam Deck and I browse SteamOS, I look at the library of games, and I see the games that I can't play because I'm on SteamOS. In that moment, I decided, you know what? Until we can dual boot properly and easily, I'm going to run my Steam Deck as a Windows machine. So I downloaded Windows 11 onto a micro SD, inserted it into my Steam Deck, and pretty much turned my Steam Deck into a Windows 11 gaming PC. And for the most part, I can't really complain about how that experience has been. There has been some things where, you know, you run into some issues where you feel like the device does not support that situation. And you might have to plug in a mouse or keyboard to resolve that real quickly, which is not an issue when you're sitting here at home and you have the time to deal with those issues. Now, if you're out and about and you have Windows 11 running on this thing, or Windows 10, whatever the case may be, and you run into a particular issue that causes you to have no option but to restart your machine, I know that sucks, but that's why I've used it here at home and ran into the issues and wanted to run into the issues on purpose so that I can see what exactly works, what doesn't work. Windows 11, I will say, does have pretty decent controls as far as for touchscreen controls. I do like that I can use the trackpad as the actual cursor when I'm using this. I find myself using the cursor and the trigger button as the mouse click more versus just using the touchscreen controls. So what I'm going to do here for this video is actually give you guys a little tour of what I have on my Steam Deck running Windows 11 and how everything that I have on here has pretty much been. Right, so this is my Windows 11 desktop setup. I am running Wallpaper Engine off of Steam right now. I only have this Wallpaper Engine running so you could see that it actually is supported by the Steam Deck screen. It works as it would on any other PC. Even when you plug in a second screen to your Steam Deck, you can set up the wallpaper for that other screen as well. So nothing different really from using the Steam Deck as a computer versus using a desktop or a laptop. It pretty much does everything either of those devices do when running Windows 10 or 11. This is Windows 11. There are Windows 11 drivers for the Steam Deck, except there's no audio drivers at the moment, so there's no audio that can play from your speakers and no audio that can play from your headphone jack up top. Your only audio options for when using Windows 11 are Bluetooth or USB wireless headphones, which is what I have been doing. I plug in an adapter, plug in my USB receiver for a wireless headphone, and that's how I'm able to listen to whatever I'm doing on the Steam Deck as of right now. Also, I did notice when mirroring the Steam Deck to a TV or something, I was able to get audio from the TV that way. So Bluetooth and casting and wireless headphones are an option. I have not been able to, however, plug in AirPods or any wireless Bluetooth headphones, but I know that you're able to. I just don't know if it's only a Windows 10 thing or if I'm doing something wrong on Windows 11. I did install the drivers from the Windows resource page on Steam's website or wherever it is that they have that, but so far I haven't been able to use Bluetooth headphones, but I have been able to get audio other ways, so it's not too bad. Also, the fact that they're working on audio and told us that they're working on it is a good sign. Cool thing about Windows 11, I actually have no experience with Windows 11 prior to having the Steam Deck, so everything I know and have learned from Windows 11 has really just been from using the Steam Deck running Windows 11. I like that they have this start page right here when you press the Windows logo, and this little struggle that you see me having right now of pressing the Windows logo or any button that is small, that's pretty much the only thing that I have to complain about, especially when using a screen protector. I know there have been people keeping an eye on what screen protectors are fully supported by the Steam Deck, as in you press normally as you would without a screen protector, but this particular screen protector that I have on right now, if you lightly tap things sometimes, it doesn't really react. Right now see, some of them do, some of them don't. I do have to apply a little bit more pressure than I normally would have to without a screen protector. So keep an eye out for that when you're buying a screen protector. Don't go spending a crazy amount of money and then you can't really use that screen protector because you can't touch the screen. That's one of those issues that I have with screen protector and pressing the screen. Another issue is hitting small icons sometimes is a little bit of a pain, especially if you have big fingers. I have not tried using a stylus or anything like that. Good recommend that I have for navigating the desktop is actually using the trackpad. I don't know about everyone else, but I actually really like the tactile feel of the trackpad. I like how it works. It feels really nice. It works properly. You can hit any small icon on the screen with it, so that's nice to see right there. My main storage is a terabyte and I still have 348 gigs. We will go into my Steam library and my Epic Games and see what else I have that is really taking up that space. But that's pretty much, as far as storage goes, that's what I have on here, a terabyte and whatever the system came with, 64 gigs. And I use that main 64 gigs just for the operating system. So I don't recommend, and I know a lot of people didn't recommend, using the SD card for operating systems. They say that it could kill your SD card faster, ruin it, whatever the case may be. I just took that word of advice and I just put the OS on the actual main drive that the Steam Deck has. This is the $399 model, so it is 64 gigs. I do recommend, if you have this model, to really invest in a SD card. I got a terabyte. It was like 120, 130 around there, which isn't too bad. You could get something smaller if you want. 500 gigs is still a pretty decent amount depending on what you're playing. I know myself. I know I'm playing bigger games, trying bigger games, wanting to really explore how powerful the device is. So I got a terabyte just to make sure that I could fit those beefy games on there. Talked about Wallpaper Engine. You can view your apps here on Windows 11. Touchscreen better on Windows 11 than on Windows 10 is what I heard, because you could actually hit the buttons easier. I do like the taskbar on Windows 11. I wish I had more options, or I don't know if there is options on what I want on there. Some of them give you the option to pin there, some of them don't. I do like that I could have Steam right on there. It loads up Steam, and you could go into big picture mode. You could use it as you would on the computer, on a desktop. But yeah, works pretty intuitively, I guess. Let's go on big picture just because I can see what is actually on my Steam Deck a little bit easier. Games, it says installed. I have 36 games installed on here. That's what it says. Filter. I'm going to filter it to locally installed so that it really tells us what we actually have on here. And any struggles you see me pressing the screen are more because of the screen protector than it is because of the system not registering the touch or anything like that. It's really just the screen protector, because before I had this, I was navigating the screen a lot easier than I am now. So I have Desk Job, which is like a Steam Deck, what is that called? Playtest, test demo. Like, they're just showing you how, you know, it's optimized for Steam Deck. They're showing you things about it and stuff like that. Kind of like Astro's Playroom for PlayStation. We got Borderlands 3, Dark Souls 3, Destiny 2. The Epic Games launcher is on here, which is how I'm able to run Fortnite and Rocket League and other Epic games. Controllers won't work if you just launch straight into the game. If you add them as a non-Steam game, which you're able to do here, and then you launch Epic Games and then get into the game, then the controllers will appear as supported. The configuration will load onto the game and you'll be fine, which is what I've done to play Overwatch, some Epic games, and the Xbox Game Pass games through xCloud, which are only available if you use the Microsoft Edge beta. So I might make a separate video on how you can actually use the xCloud games and play them properly with the Microsoft beta or Microsoft Edge beta, because regular Microsoft Edge, if you just launch that, it does not work and your controllers will not be supported. I got Lost Ark on here, the SpongeBob fighting, whatever, Nickelodeon, All-Star Smash, Fall Guys, Just Die Already, Halo Infinite, Fallout New Vegas, and all of these are the actually installed games. I did try PS Remote Play, was not able to get controller support on streaming my PlayStation to the Steam Deck. So a little iffy on that. I don't really know much else. I just know the initial experience was that the controllers weren't supported. We got Portal 2, Risk of Rain, Valheim, Wallpaper Engine, and The Witcher 3. This is another thing I wanted to show you guys. So the left side is actually my desktop PC. It has nothing to do with the other side of the screen. On the right side here, everything I'm doing is running off of Windows 11. I've decided to just start this video right here where I was in the other point of the video where I was showing The Witcher 3 working and functioning as a game on Windows 11. The games work. The games feel great. Anything you can do and play on Windows 11, you can play on the Steam Deck if you're running Windows 11. I do have an adapter here plugged in to my Steam Deck, and it has an HDMI mouse and keyboard and the charger. So this is charging as everything's going on, and I do have full control or support of mouse and keyboard functions. And this game here, The Witcher 3, I can actually have the Steam page open here, or I can have a wiki, or if I'm researching something about the game or want to have Discord on this screen, I can, all while still being able to use the Steam Deck's controller, which is pretty awesome actually. The fact that you can do this, it kind of reminds me of the Wii U, Windows 11 Wii U, but that's kind of what it feels like. I have the, whatever they call it, the gamepad with a screen on it. It has information about the game. I have it set up this way on purpose so you guys can see that I'm running the game, but the game is actually on the second screen, and you could play, you know, your Steam games that way. This is running off of Steam, so expect most Steam games to have the controller support ready to use, whereas if you're using Epic Games, you're going to want to add those type of extra launchers and stuff. Battle.net, Epic Games, you're going to want to add those as non-Steam games and then launch your games that way. That's what you're going to do with Fortnite or Rocket League or Overwatch. Those games like that, you're going to want to add as non-Steam games. I'm trying to quit this game. Let's stop the game here, exit. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm exiting the game. And I have Steam open on my actual Steam Deck, but I could drag it up here to the monitor. And the cool thing about having a monitor plugged in is actually that you can control how you want to use it. Obviously in Windows you can choose if you want to just mirror the Steam Deck screen, if you want to extend the display, which is what I'm doing. And the cool thing about extending the display and actually using this as a screen is that you can control the frame rate of the second screen. And I'm gonna pick the second screen here, and I can go all the way up to 144 hertz, which for most games that are, you know, big games, Borderlands, Destiny, and things like that, you're not gonna hit 144 hertz. But if you're playing games like Risk of Rain or 2D games that don't need all that power to really make the game work, then it's gonna look nice on docked mode. I guess this would be considered docked mode. This is kind of like a dock here, makeshift, or it doesn't prop up your Steam Deck, but I mean it serves the same purpose as if you did have a dock. So in docked mode you can actually play, you know, your 2D indie games or games that are not as demanding on power. You can use them and run them at 144 hertz, as at least with this adapter that I'm using and with the HDMI cable that I'm using in the monitor. Like it's gonna vary depending on what your equipment is. But with this adapter, this monitor, and this cable, it lets me go all the way up to 144 hertz. So that is pretty cool. I do have Wallpaper Engine running here on the bottom screen. It kind of mirrors that screen. This, like I said, that has nothing to do with the Steam Deck. It's actually my PC. But you could also change your wallpaper for your monitor if you wanted to. And you can pretty much do and run this thing as you wish. What is it? Microsoft Edge Beta. You're going to want Microsoft Edge Beta if you're going to play your Xbox Game Pass games. I don't know why I'm having like a brain fart. If you want to play Game Pass games through xCloud, you're going to want to use Microsoft Edge Beta version, because it won't work if you're just using Microsoft Edge. And by won't work, I mean the Steam Deck controls, the controller configuration will not support the browser for some reason. If you're just using the regular one, they've added some files or something, Super Magic, Steam Deck Magic, to the beta version where it allows the controller to be recognized and you can play your Steam Deck, you can play the Game Pass games using your Steam Deck controller. And also I recommend, if you're doing that, I might make a separate video on this, on Game Pass and xCloud and the beta version and stuff like that, showing you guys exactly how it works. But just know that you can play your Game Pass games on the Steam Deck, at least if you're on the beta version, and that's if you want to use the controllers. I haven't had any successful runs of actually downloading a Game Pass game and playing it off of the system itself, but I have had many successful runs using the Microsoft Edge beta and using the Steam Deck controller and all of that. If you're playing with mouse and keyboard, it's less of a problem, and you'll probably find yourself running into less issues versus using the actual controller, because Windows right now sometimes doesn't recognize this as an actual controller, and that's where the issue comes in, where the game won't be supported. So until they fix that, that's an issue. Pressing small icons, that's an issue. What else? Battery life can be an issue if you're using really, if you're playing really demanding games and things like that. But what else? I'm trying to think of negatives versus positives, because I know a lot of people were pretty harsh on Windows running on Steam Deck, and I haven't had that terrible experience yet. Like, I actually enjoy running my Steam Deck as a Windows machine. There's a few negatives, like I said, but it's something that I know going into it that are things that are going to happen. Like, battery life is going to be bad. Demanding games will kill it faster. The operating system is probably more demanding than using the actual SteamOS, but those are things you just have to put up with if you want to use Windows on the Steam Deck. I'm going to unplug this, and you can see the screen go black. Everything's just going to go to the Steam Deck itself, but I'm doing that so that you guys can see my Windows 11 desktop setup. It looks really pretty with the wallpaper engine running and all that. I don't recommend using wallpaper engine, like I said. Probably, I don't know. Like I said, I've re-recorded this video, so I don't know what I've said and haven't said, but if you want to browse, you're going to be able to do that just fine on the Windows 11 Steam Deck. You do have the option to add a keyboard shortcut. So whenever you run into a situation where you need to have a keyboard, and because that has happened, I've had games open up and it's like, oh, you need a keyboard, but sometimes you won't have this toolbar or the taskbar here to pull up that keyboard real fast. So the only option is to restart the whole system or to plug in a keyboard, which kind of sucks, but I've kind of learned what situations would lead to that and how to stay away from it and how to kind of fix that problem. Okay, so I have the Xbox game opening up here in my browser. I'm going to go full screen. So when you go full screen, sometimes this is the issue. The game or the browser will actually cut. Okay, so this one doesn't do it, which is a good thing. That means you can actually exit the browser. Sometimes when you exit the game, it won't show you the top, it has the actual Xbox xCloud page full screened, and there's there's no way to get out of it, and you can't escape because you don't have a keyboard plugged in. And this keyboard here doesn't really give you that option. Theme, you could actually change the keyboard. Having this keyboard here is very convenient. It's not something that is already there when you first download Windows 11. You have to add it, but it is definitely worth adding and will save you a lot of headaches and situations. Like, it's definitely a must-have thing if you're using Windows 11 on the Steam Deck. You need to have this keyboard available to you if you want to use it properly, unless you're just using it with a keyboard plugged in the whole time, which I don't know why you'd want to do that. This is a portable device. You're going to want to step away from your setup at some point. But I was trying to run into that situation, and I guess when I want it to run into that situation, it doesn't. But just know that if you ever go full screen and you don't have a taskbar and you don't have access to any of that, you will get stuck and you won't be able to really do anything unless you can hit your Windows key on an actual keyboard or map something to maybe the controller, which I have not tried or know if you can do at all. You will be stuck there and you'll have to restart the system, which is something that I've had to do. But yeah, xCloud games work really well. I want to make a separate video for xCloud games and how they work and how good they are and how to start them properly so that they support the controllers. I'm going to get to all that. I wanted to really give an overview of just Windows 11 on here and the experience with Windows 11. It's not as bad as people make it seem, and I've actually been able to do everything I wanted to do. I'll just keep opening random stuff here so you guys can see it. You guys saw that I was using a monitor. I'm trying to just hit some brief points and things that people might use this for and have curiosity about. I do like the fact that you can pin apps to start. The main apps I use, I pin here, and some of them are just already there, but this is a very good thing to have here if you really don't want to, like, I don't have anything on my screen. It's something you probably noticed as well, and that's because I'm actually hiding the apps here. If you go to view and show desktop icons, it will show you everything that I have on my Steam Deck. You can make that bigger or smaller. Since it's all just cluttered and I don't really like how it looks, I'd rather just not have it on my screen. Same thing with my PC up here. You will notice that there are no icons on my PC. So I choose to hide those, but you can pretty much pin the main things you use to your start. And if you really have a hard time looking for them, then you can just, like I did, show the apps and things like that. But Microsoft Edge Beta is a good thing. There's a Twitter app on here. It's literally just opens like a mini browser of Twitter. So you have that. You can use everything you would want to use. I haven't tried recording with this or using OBS or anything. That is something I will just attempt in the future. Maybe I'll even try editing a video on here just for the sake of seeing what the experience is like. I don't think I would use this solely for editing, but let's say I'm on a trip or something and I need something to edit on. This might be my only option. So treat it like a laptop, but treat it like a super Game Boy at the same time. Like I don't know. It's just a cool device that does anything my computer can, and it keeps amusing me no matter how many things I open up here and try. It always surprises me, and I think it's still early for it, and there's still a lot that we don't have and won't be able to do, but everything I've tried and wanted to do that I've done on my Windows 10 PC, I've been able to do on the Windows 11 Steam Deck setup. Steam Deck's awesome. Windows 11 works fine. Don't know what people are so upset about. Well, maybe it's because I'm Q2 and they fixed a lot of things that were wrong with it, but I can't really complain about it. So if you have complaints or concerns or things that I should look out for in Windows 11, let me know. And if you think that SteamOS is better, that's fine as well. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, I would like to dual boot in the future, and I will. And right now, Windows 11 is just fine for me. So I'm enjoying it. Every game that I wanted to play works fine, and hopefully yours is working the way you want it to. If you haven't got your Steam Deck, hopefully you get that email soon for you to be able to purchase it. Stay tuned here for more Steam Deck videos. I do have an accessory video that I need to make, and I do want to show you guys Destiny 2 running on the Steam Deck, because that is one of my main games, and hopefully some other games along the way. And as we keep getting updates when the audio driver comes out for Windows 11 as well, or for Windows 10, hopefully it's for both of them, but for Windows in general, I will be there to cover that since I'm already running my device on Windows. Seeing what works and what doesn't work and what I really am interested in, those are the things I'm going to be showing as far as Steam Deck goes. But for now, that's it for this video. Windows 11 works pretty well. I will see you guys in the next video.